testing. Testing, testing. Testing.
3R students, can you please start sitting here? 3R. Some of you they sit along this straight line. Come on in. So you are 4S. Can you sit over? Okay, sit here fast. 3R students, can you please start sitting here? 3R. Some of you they sit along this straight line. Yeah. Thank you. Come on in. So you are 4S. Can you sit over? Okay, sit here fast. 3R students, can you please start sitting here? 3R. Some of you they sit along this straight line. Yeah. Thank you. Come on in. So you are 4S. Can you sit over? Okay, sit here fast. 3R students, can you please start sitting here? 3R. Some of you they sit along this straight line. Yeah. Thank you. Come on in. So you are 4S. Can you sit over? Okay, sit here fast. 3R students, can you please start sitting here? 3R. You are 4. Some of you they sit along this straight line. Yeah. Thank you. Come on in. 4A. So you are 4S. Can you sit over? Right? Okay, sit here fast. Here, please. 3R students, can you please start sitting here? Sit on all chairs, please, everyone. 3R. You are 4S. So you sit along this
First
straight
two rows.
line. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Come on in.
4A.
So you are 4S. Can you sit over? Okay, sit here fast.
Here, please.
3R students, can you please start sitting here? Sit on all chairs, please, everyone. 3R. You are so you sit along this
First
straight
two
line.
rows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Come on in. 4A. So you are 4S. Can you sit over? 3M
Okay,
here,
sit
please.
here
Here, please. 3R students, can you please start sitting here? Sit on all chairs, please, everyone. 3R. You are so you sit along this
First
straight
two
line.
rows.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Come on in. 4A. So you are 4S. Can you sit over?
3M
Okay,
here,
sit
please.
here fast. 3R students, can you please start sitting here? Sit on all chairs, please, everyone. 3R. You are so you sit along this
First
straight
two
line.
rows.
Yeah. Okay, I need your cooperation. In 3, mouth closed. 3, 2, 1. Mouth closed, eyes on me. Second time. Thank you. Okay, let me have a quick check. You may see that as... Okay, 3S, put up your hand, please. 3M, 3A, 3R, 3R, 3T, 3Y. Okay, so we are missing 3T, right? 3T, okay, 4S, 4M, 4A, 4R, 4T, 4T, 4Y. Okay, 3 more classes. So come to the front, please. Okay, I'll go search for the 2 classes, but we will start the talk first. I need you to be ready. Show me that you are ready. If you are ready, eyes on me. Thank you. So as you can see on the PowerPoint on the screen, today we have Professor Ho from DI to give a talk on air pollution and urban development. May we give a round of applause for Dr. Ho and promise me that you will have some takeaways after the talk. I will ask you to do a debriefing by filling out a Google form. I wish you to consolidate what you have learned today before you leave school today. Thank you, Professor Ho.
Thank you. Good morning. Now, today's topic is air pollution and urban development. I am a surveyor, 測量師, a surveyor who deals with real estate construction and land matters. You see, real estate, construction, land matters. These are all very important for the economy of Hong Kong. Let me introduce myself first. I'm a teacher, a surveyor. I've been teaching at the University of Hong Kong for over 30 years. 30 years. I left Hong Kong U and then joined DI. DI, which is one of the institutions under the Vocational Council, but we offer degree awarding programs. We claim our students are all work ready. These are in Chinese, but I'll explain in English. We have set up in 2012. The employment percentage of our graduates are very high. Not surprising because all our programs are geared towards the demands of the industry. Say, for example, the surveying program at DI have very close collaboration with the surveying industry and profession. And up to now, we have over 3,000 students altogether. We have engineering-oriented programs such as building services engineering, civil engineering, environmental engineering management, even aircraft engineering. We have food science and safety program, healthcare, certification, and even Chinese medicinal pharmacy. We have design related programs such as fashion design, advertising, product design. We also have those environmentally related programs such as landscape architecture, arboriculture, horticulture, 樹藝, and of course surveying, which are all related with the environment. We also have innovation and ICT related programs such as multimedia technology and innovation and ICT program. In addition, we have hotel and culinary arts, sports and recreational management, as well as those related with business, such as accounting, business accounting, public relations programs. This is one of our campus in Tsingyi with a lot of new facilities, a halls of residence for students. This is our Taiwan campus. I came from Taiwan campus because it hosts the Faculty of Design and Environment. So these are very relevant. You see, this building was brand new. We occupied it around 2 years ago, newly constructed. This is a picture of the campus. Inside we have learning commons. There aren't too many bookshelves because we don't read books. I mean the physical books. We read a lot of online materials and therefore a lot of sofas and cubicles for students to discuss projects. Okay, can we show the video? Now the video is approximately 1.5 minutes and it was done by students. So if you join the Multimedia Technology and Innovation Program, you will be able to do this animation fly-through of the new campus. Very impressive, isn't it? Now, the external environment may not be real, but the building itself is real. Now, note, this building have a lot of environmental features. For example, the atrium is open. It enhances the natural ventilation. Green roof. Enhance natural ventilation, daylighting facing the north and south. There's a greenhouse here. And the grand staircase takes us to the atrium and various floors connected with escalators. So in the future, if you have a chance, we welcome you to pay a visit to the Taiwan campus. Okay, thank you. We can go back to the slide. Now, this is today's agenda. I will introduce the concept of sustainability and then focus more on environmental protection. And of course, the topic of today's talk is on air pollution. Air pollution. I'll start from global and then focus more on local. What not only we can do, but what you can do. And of course, lastly, is the relations with environmental protection, in particular air pollution with urban development. From different scale, cities, buildings, and your sustainable living. First, you might have seen this picture, the 3 pillars of sustainability. It's supported by social aspect, environmental aspect, and economic aspect. We contribute towards the theme of sustainability. But in fact, If we focus on environmental issues, this could include a number of topics, which may start from energy efficiency, which is very straightforward, and every one of you should know. If we have good energy efficiency, we can save the world. So use less energy, use more renewable energy. Water efficiency. I'm not sure whether you have used the school's toilet today. I have not. I'm not sure whether the taps in your toilets are fitted with water reduction features or with a sensor. Has it been installed with sensor? Some of them. So it may save water, and in the future, availability of clean water will become one of the pressing issues for the whole world. Material efficiency, use less timber. Okay? Use more durable materials so that we do not need to dispose of them as waste. Use more durable materials so you can make use of a particular clothes, shoes for a longer time. Waste reduction, again, here we talk about solid waste, which may include municipal waste produced from the city, food waste from your kitchen, chemical waste from factories, hospitals, and even medical waste. So in my field, waste produced by construction works, demolition waste, a lot of solid waste issue. And of course, pollution. And pollution, we refer to the four main types of pollution. Will be elaborated a bit later. And even the siting of structures and design efficiency help reduce the use of energy. And lastly, heritage conservation. Heritage conservation. If we can extend the life of buildings, say for example your school hall, for a longer time, we reduce demolition rates. We reduce the waste produced through reconstruction. And as far as pollution is concerned, these are the four main topics. First, we will elaborate more on air pollution. And second, water pollution. Water pollution in nearby streams, in reservoirs, water pollution. Noise pollution, especially in cities. And of course, solid waste, production of solid waste. So you play a part. You, through the living, through the normal activities, waste, or solid waste are produced. So you play a part in reducing waste. And then we focus more on air pollution today. The problem is that nearly 7 million people per year die from air pollution. You may not know. Air pollution may cause pneumonia, may even cause heart disease, bronchitis, 支氣管炎, which may affect a lot of people, especially the old age. And they may be dying because of that. So it becomes a public health issue. A public health issue. Yesterday we have several which were confirmed with COVID-19, locally contracted. This is a public health issue, a public health issue. So every one of us has to be careful about this. This slide is from the World Health Organization, WHO. The statistics told us that a lot of deaths actually caused by air pollution. Who are the most affected? Children. Because of the disease that I've just mentioned. Women. Again, this slide is from WHO. Why women are mostly affected by air pollution? It is not quite in Hong Kong, But remember, we have a lot of countries which still make use of very primitive type of fuel, such as kerosene, 火水, or even timber or coal to burn in kitchen to do the cooking. And those fumes produced by those fuels actually produce a lot of toxic gases, and it affects the health of women who used to work in kitchen or stay in kitchen for a long time. And of course, air pollution affects outdoor workers. So especially, say, construction workers, they will have to be exposed to the ambient air constantly. What are the sources? Of course, it includes industry and energy sources, in particular in Hong Kong, power generation. And in fact, to be fair, the power generation of power companies in Hong Kong have been doing quite well to reduce the emission from their power generation plants. I will give you the statistics later. Hong Kong is not quite affected by dust, but in the northern part of China, desert produce a lot of dust storm. Agricultural practices, rearing of cows, sheep in farms, produce a lot of gases which affect the atmosphere. Household energy, making use of unclean fuel in kitchens, and use air conditioners a lot in Hong Kong, especially in this summertime. We make use of more energy, and therefore the power plants have to supply more electricity. Of course, waste management. This highlighted a very topical issue or controversial issue, whether to dump the solid waste in landfill site or burn them in incinerators is always a topic to be discussed and to be decided by the government. As the landfill site in Hong Kong, in Tseung Kwan O, in northern part of New Territories, is about to be filled up very, very soon. And alternative ways of how to deal with solid waste is still always on the agenda of the Hong Kong SAR government. And lastly, transport. Now that the whole aviation industry have almost stopped, we have much, much less aeroplane flying. And in fact, it contributes to clean air because aeroplanes and other modes of transport produce a lot of exhaust and gases like vehicles we drive, so the emissions will damage the quality of air. So in summary, we're concerned about premature death and the cost to the whole healthcare system. So we have to pay. If you are sick, you have to consult the doctor, and you may be absent from work, so lower productivity. And of course, deterioration of the living environment. If you step outside, if the air is polluted, you better stay indoor. But unfortunately, even the quality of the indoor air may not be good. And of course, it affects the visibility. And that's why with less aeroplanes flying, with less vehicles, we may not be able to get to work. Therefore, the quality of air actually is cleaner, not only in Hong Kong but elsewhere. Let's turn to the local situation. Those slides came from the statistical section of LESCO. The latest being in 2017. This is the number of inpatients hospitalized and death due to respiratory disease. You see, there is a slightly increasing trend, So people are affected by the quality of our air. Now, these are the four main parameters or issues that the Environmental Protection Department measures. The top two particular matters, 10. 10 indicate it is micron, 10 micron. 10 micron is 10 times to the power minus 6, okay? 10 to the power minus 6 is millimeter or micron. So it's very small. Even smaller, PM 2.5. Do you know, or any of you know, the width of a human hair? What is the width? No idea? The width of a human hair ranges from PM 20 to PM 250. So PM 10 is only half the size of the width of a human hair, very tiny, and 2.5 is even smaller. The two other chemicals that the Environmental Protection Department measures are sulfur dioxide as a pollutant of the air and NOx. So you have chemistry class. NO is nitrogen oxide. It could be nitrogen monoxide, it could be nitrogen dioxide. So various types of oxides of nitrogen were released to the air, which damage the quality. Okay? So air in Hong Kong are polluted or measured basically by these four parameters. As you can see from here, the meeting AQOs is air quality objective. Air quality objective. Almost all of the pollutants, if you like, satisfy the objective except NOx. So we target to reduce NOx. We try to reduce the release of NOx into our ambient air. This is the total emission of NOx by source. And in fact, the total emission, which include different color, overall has been reduced by 39% from 1997 to 2016, is on the reduction trend, of which, in fact, I was quite surprised that marine navigation, that is the light blue colored one, remain on the high side. It is the pollution caused by vessels, ships on the sea. They have to burn fuel for the power, okay? And it releases a lot of air pollutants into the ambient air. So it has not improved, and it accounts for 37%. The next yellow one is electricity generation. As you can see, it is on the reduction trend. In the past, do you know what we use to generate electricity? You know the fuel we burn. In the past, power generation plant in Hong Kong make use of coal. And coal produce a lot of harmful pollutant through the chimney into the air. But now, most of the power generation companies in Hong Kong make use of more natural gases, natural gas, and it produces less pollutants. So you can see it is gradually reducing, but they still account for 29% of the total emission. The next is road transport. It is by far the most reduction amount. Transport. I'm not sure how many of you take the MTR and the East Rail to go to school. These are what we call mass transit. Mass transit. Most cities in the world promote the use of more mass transit instead of people driving their own cars. This has a kind of reduction in the pollution. But of course, the better one is non-polluting means of transport, such as what are non-polluting transport means? Walking. Walking. You just walk. Cycling. Cycling. Right? These are non-polluting transportation means. And of course, this reduction has been caused by a tighter control on the sulfur content of the petroleum or gasolines used in vehicles in Hong Kong, and phasing out of the diesel commercial vehicles, diesel 柴油車, which produce a lot of pollution. And in fact, Hong Kong have banned the import of diesel vehicle, but there are current or existing diesel commercial vehicles which are still on the roads. And lastly, which contribute not much, are others. Okay? So you can see the rough situation. Marine navigation has been the most serious one. It's the largest generator of NOx. And road transportation is improving gradually. What you can do? These are the solutions suggested by the WHO, which include other types of generation of power. Here, this looks like a windmill. These are wind farms which capture the force of natural wind and generate electricity. And in Hong Kong, we have one big windmill installed in Landmark Island. Take a look. But of course, it has not been put into commercial use. Other countries make use of wind power a lot already, especially European countries. Other types of renewable energy may include tidal, thermal, solar energy. Here in Hong Kong, we have a lot of sunlight. Making use of solar energy is a renewable energy. Improve the treatment of waste. Now that the quality of the exhaust from incinerator have been much improved, one of the undesirable components from incinerator is dioxin, 二惡英. But the latest technology have minimized the content of dioxin from incinerator a lot. So the situation is improving. So we may reconsider the use of incineration as a means to treat our solid waste. Make greener and more compact cities. This is our area, urban development. Why compact city is desirable in terms of environmental protection? Because if cities are more compact, you can visit buildings and facilities within a short distance, just by walking, for example. Okay? So a more compact city contribute towards environmental protection. Reduce agricultural waste, incineration, etc. in Hong Kong is not particularly common because we have very few farmland. Provide universal access to clean and affordable fuels, especially in third world countries. The quality of the fuel actually matters. And lastly, build safe and affordable public transport system. So in Hong Kong, we have a very efficient mass transit transport system. We have MTR, we have East Rail, we have West Rail. So by all means, use more mass transit means for your journeys. Okay? So for all those aspects, you play a part. You play a part. Especially on power generation, we can use low emission fuels such as natural gas. So the emissions from power plants will be much less. Co-generation of heat and power, this is more practiced in elsewhere but not in Hong Kong. Is the generation of steam to operate the turbine to produce electricity, but at the same time make use of the heat of those steam for other purposes. And in Hong Kong, we started to make use of distributed energy generation. So if you have a house, you install solar panel which produce electricity, and the excess electricity can be sold to power companies. We make better use of clean technology and reduce emission. Consider agricultural waste, which is not quite common in Hong Kong. Capture of methane gas emitted from waste sites. So the landfill site in Hong Kong, including Tseung Kwan O and North East New Territories, produce methane gas as a residual of the decomposition of the waste. And in Hong Kong, we collect those methane gas. Otherwise, it will be released to the atmosphere and affect our air quality. Of course, make use of more affordable and clean energy, more use of renewable energy, and less reliance on power-consuming equipment. So at home, if you can use an electric fan, by all means, use it as a replacement of switching on your air conditioner because it is a higher consumption of electricity. Transportation, again, do by walking, cycling, take mass transit, and reduce the use of diesel energy by the government, and reduce the sulfur content of the fuel imported to Hong Kong. In our field, that is real estate construction and land development, we try to improve the energy efficiency of our building by more efficient lighting, air conditioning. And lastly, incineration of waste has to be reconsidered. And other forms of biological waste management, such as, I'm not sure whether it is practiced in your school, but some schools have a program which collect food waste from canteens, collected by vehicles, and then reprocess it to minimize the amount of solid waste to be treated. And lastly, we talk about urban development. Today's topic is about air pollution and urban development. And we play a part. In particular, my profession related with urban development. So we start from the city scale, a much bigger scale, and then focus on individual building. And lastly, on your living style. Again, it is from WHO, which highlight the importance of inclusive of disabled people, ethnic minorities, safe and sustainable cities, production of less harm to our future in terms of environment. So it's a sustainable cities. Now, Hong Kong, in fact, have done something back in 1997. back in 1997. There was a study on sustainable development for the 21st century in Hong Kong. It was back in 1997. So there was a report which focused on defining what is sustainability, what Hong Kong can do to contribute to the issue, what are the guiding principles. It undertook public consultations, so the public was involved. And because of the report is still downloadable from the website. Okay? In 1999, in 1992 years later, the policy address actually built in those recommendations, which include reduce overall pollution and waste, care for the future generations, and the policy address give us a direction. And therefore, there are a number of practice note design guidelines which help the profession to design and install more sustainable equipment, making use of more natural lighting and ventilation, installation of various green features, including green roof, green walls, and recycle the use of grey water, etc., etc. So in fact, we have started this revolution to achieve higher sustainability some 20 years ago. As far as the city scale is concerned, we explored more use of renewable energy, building green and compact cities, which we have already covered, avoid overdevelopment. Now, it is important, and I do not want to overstate the importance of environmental protections, which, to the extent we may have to reduce the development. No. Because Hong Kong has to progress. The economy, the living standards have to progress. So we should not stop development because it produces pollution, right? So the issue here is avoid overdevelopment only. If it is not necessary, why not? Say, for example, this school hall may be deteriorated to a stage that it may not be used anymore. But what about we renovate, revitalize the hall to something else? Okay, in Chinese we call it 活化, such as industrial buildings. Hong Kong don't have too many industrial processes, and many of our industrial buildings have been left vacant. This is a waste of resources. Why not we revitalize the industrial buildings to some other uses? So instead of demolishing the industrial buildings and then redevelop, which produce a lot of demolition waste, we extend the life of those industrial buildings for some other uses. Okay? So this is the meaning of avoid overdevelopment. So we carry out urban renewal process. Somehow, sometimes we may have to decide that has to be demolished and then redeveloped. But think about if there is a possibility of revitalization, why not take this option? And reduction of urban heat islands, 熱島效應. So you might have heard about this term. It is at the city scale. Those part of the city which have a lot of high-rise buildings, the temperature within this zone is much higher than the rest. So this is a urban heat island effect because of the sunlight reflection, etc., etc. temperature around those skyscraper or high-rise buildings rise compared with those surrounding area. What about at building scale? Building scale. At the scale of a building, we can still do something. For example, we install energy efficient equipment. We insulate the building. Now, this hall is built with reinforced concrete solid wall, which is good in terms of thermal insulation. But you have windows, high windows above. Window being screened by glass are weak points in terms of thermal insulation. So it will admit heat into the building, and therefore you have to switch on the air conditioner. So with a good thermal insulated building, you use less energy. More efficient lighting, HVAC. HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning distribution loss. We try to make less light. We try to switch off or tone down the power of the air conditioner. Careful choice of building materials such as less use of timber, and make use of more durable building materials, And in this way, you will reduce the chance of replacement and reduce waste. Even building orientation and siting. So whether the building is facing the sun matters. Therefore, a good design will assist natural ventilation in the first place and minimize the heat gain from the west-facing wall. So if you notice, some of the green buildings with wall facing the west will have less window. Use of external shading device. And if the building itself may not be able to minimize the heat gain, you can use shading device such as balcony, canopies. So projecting shading device actually protect the window from emitting too much heat. Of course, actively, you can install solar panels on the roof. I have not visited your school's roof. Has there been any green plants or grass planted on the roof? Any? If not, you may consider installing green roof. It may lower the temperature of the topmost floor of your school, thereby minimizing the use of air conditioning. Not only roof, but also walls, green walls, not very common in Hong Kong. Rooftop farming and agriculture, make better use of the roof to grow your plants and vegetation. Making better use of natural lighting and ventilation to assist lowering down the temperature, thereby less use of air conditioning. Use of rain and recycled water. Not very common in Hong Kong, but in other countries, many buildings are designed to collect rainwater into an underground tank. And those water, being not treated but clean rainwater, can be used for flushing your toilets, can be used for irrigating the planting area, or washing the floor. Okay? But it's still not very common in Hong Kong. Collection of rainwater for better use. And therefore, you will consume less fresh water from the reservoir. And recycled grey water. You make use of fresh water for cleaning, washing, or even drinking. And a lot of used water may not be as dirty. Say, the fresh water from the tap in the kitchen to wash the veggie. After you wash the veggie, the water is not dirty, right? It's not dirty. You can collect those gray water and then reuse it for some other purposes, such as flushing your toilets. So this is the use of gray water, okay? Use of gray water. Now this is the last slide. In general, at your level, living style. So whenever you need to travel, consider mass transit. It is your sustainable living style. And reduction of waste. Say, no bottled water, for example. And use of recyclable or biodegradable and durable products so that you do not need to throw away your clothes. You can wear it for a long time, thereby reducing waste, okay? But in fact, it is against the idea of fashion, right? You look for a kind of more fashionable design. Reduce the use of water, and that's why I asked you to check the tap of the toilet in your school and see whether any water-reducing device, including sensors, has been installed to reduce the tap water from the tap. Use of public or shared transport, cycling, we have covered that, which you can do. At a personal level, you can do. And carry out environmental assessment and audits to check whether your school is performing better than last year or how can you reduce further next year. Okay, so that's the end of my sharing.
Thank you, Professor Ho. Okay, so give me 3 minutes debriefing. So you do not just sit here and then go, right? Tell me 3 things that you got from this talk today. Crust, you are the first one. One from you. What did you take away from this talk? Or you can also tell me what you will do after listening to this talk.
Environmental problem. Air problem.
I cannot listen to you if you do it like this.
Air pollution. Go to school I will go to school by foot. On foot.
Okay, so one point mentioned in this talk is you can cycle, right? And it's very easy if we live in Taipo. We can cycle. But another issue is please pay attention to your safety. Okay, promise me. If you cycle, please, okay, pay attention to your safety. And second one, please, for 3M. Okay, Bianca. One takeaway from the talk. I will do 3. I'll pick 3 of you only.
If the building is higher, the temperature around it will be higher too.
Yes, okay, thank you. Big hand for her, please. Very good. Last one. Bianca, you can pick one. Pick one class and one number. I can't hear. 3Y number 4. Number 5. 3Y, hands up. 3Y. No number 5. Who is number 5? Okay, give number 5. She said number 5.
I don't know.
Come on. I'm not a monster. It seems that I'm a monster with a mic. Be brave. Come on, you can do it. Okay, after you, we can all go. It's recess time. Come on.
Use the plastic bottle.
Yeah, use fewer plastic bottles. Okay, backhand for her, please. Not an easy task. So your recess start at 10:15 to 10:25. After that, you'll be having a workshop doing upcycling the banner, the plastic banners that the school has. I'm waiting for you. Thank you. So today you will see a lot of people from different organizations and also from creative secondary schools. So mainly they will be on the second and also the fourth floor. Just say hi if you meet them, okay? And the tutors from the organizations teaching you for the workshops is also outside. So be polite, follow teachers and also teachers' instructions. So any questions? If not, before you go today, remember to fill out the Google Forms. Also, keep your mask on at all times and wash your hands often, especially before the workshops and also after the workshops. Wash hands often, okay? Maintain your hand hygiene. So, before we leave the hall, we give another round of applause for Professor Ho. Okay, thank you very much for his talk. So now, the last two class at the end, sitting at the back of the hall. Can you please leave the hall now? You can now leave. Okay, 4A, 3Y, and also